Because what I'm about to tell you is something that the governing bodies of these lands do not want you to know. Now, we learned in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. We also learned in 1619 that the Anglo-Saxon pilgrims came over here looking for religious freedom. In both cases, we were taught that they were met by these people who were the indigenous of America. But that's not entirely true. According to Giovanni da Verrazzano, the people that were found here were black in color, not unlike the Ethiopians with thick black hair, not very long. Whoa, and he encountered them in the Carolinas in 1524. That's right around the time Columbus came to these lands. This is further echoed by James Hugo Johnston, who was a professor at the University of Virginia in the 1900s. He says, to the visitor of the South, the physical characteristics of many Negro slaves bore witness to their Indian origin. Whoa! So you're talking about 400 years later, it's still the same sentiment. Wouldn't the Negro know that they were Indians if they were actually indigenous to this land? You see, that's where these guys come into play. Like Melvin Herkovich, he's the one that created the lie that American Negroes come from Africa only. Not to say that African slaves weren't brought over here, but not 4 million. Then Walter Plecker here, what did he do? He took away the benefits of the American Negro who were indigenous to this land and gave them to whites and Mexicans. Hence why you have the certain Hollywood Indian type. But this guy right here, Hejlika, he was a curator of physical anthropology for guess who? The Smithsonian. So he was able to change the imagery of the indigenous. And he made all these changes with the stroke of a pen. But see, there's a reason I mentioned that he worked for the Smithsonian.
This is the Bat Creek stone. It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew.
So you're telling me that the indigenous people of this land, the Mesoamericans, were not only black, but they were Hebrews? If they're God's chosen people, there would have to be some type of records left behind of their beliefs and their treks throughout this land and their history and... More men